G'day guys, Lachlan from New South Wales ACT FAE Group. Wanted to do a bit of a walkthrough video on our BL4 SSL. Long story short, this is one of two models that would suit your 90 to 135 horsepower engines or posies. Basically, you're sort of looking for about 120 on for litres per minute hydraulic flow to run this big girl. Comes in two different variations, both configurable engines as well as two different sizes. So ultimately you can customize this thing to within an inch of its life to make sure it is exactly what you need for your application. This one is more aimed at your private sectors. We do get a few guys that pay in the public sector with this particular model. The main difference between this and the UML I'll go over very shortly. But to begin with, you're coming in at a 107cc hydraulic piston motor. So the motor configuration differences are your likes of VT motor, which is variable torque, or you've got a sonic electronic controller torque setting scenario. So basically your VT has a high and low range, where your sonic has both high and low, but then a spectrum of gears sort of in between. So it's electronically controlled displacement on the way through. So it acts like, for the ag guys, it acts like your creeper transmission or your Vario or your CVT, IVT sort of style transmission. It'll give you the full range of power the whole way through. And because of that, the sonic is, the official figure is 30% more efficient than the VT models. But for the guys that don't come from the mulching space, the vegetation management space, the vegetation control space, the guys that aren't sitting in posies 8, 10, 12 hours a day aren't going to see the difference, aren't going to see the benefit. And this is me being completely upfront, laying all cards out on the table. For the 30% that you're going to see more efficiency, I suppose the guys that aren't immersed in the industry aren't going to see that money or return on investment, I suppose is the best way to describe it. So comes in a 150 and a 175 configuration. That almost correlates to the sizes, almost. Your 150 is, from a working width perspective, it's just under 1600. And then your 17 or 175, should I say, is a touch over 1800 working width. So that's obviously, within these skids, everything on that rotor there. This is our 175 model, and then from that perspective, you're actually looking at a little bit over 2100 wide from an overall perspective. And then the 150 is obviously, sort of equivalent in just outside working width perspective. I think it's just over 1800, or just under 19, should I say. Now with the BL stands for bite limiter. So you've got these bite limiter shark fin style, I suppose, dividers on the rotor. The idea of those is both better machine sympathy as well as gives you a more evenly spaced cut. So when I say machine sympathy, when you're pushing into, whatever you're pushing into, this is going to stop you from burying the rotor, or your operator, should I say, the guys that aren't, owner operators, the guys that have multiple guys sitting in their machines day in and day out. This will stop those guys burying the unit into the ground and potentially stalling out the motor hydraulically, maybe one too many times, maybe wearing away the teeth a little bit faster than there should be, because they are just pushing in a little bit too hard. And that goes for pushing into vegetation as well. So maybe they're pushing in too hard into your trees, and you're getting unnecessary wear and stress on the unit you've already got because you haven't got those bite limiter fins on there. So amongst those fins, they are interchangeable, by the way, just for reference sake. So you can replace them if one does get damaged or one wears down for whatever reason, something goes wrong, you can interchange those. Now this is coupled with our BL Max blades. They're more like an axe style blade. So I'll show you one of those very shortly. Basically, the idea is it comes to a point, as mentioned, it's an axe style blade. So it works extremely well on vegetation, either woody stuff, saplings, works a little bit on the grass, definitely not a slasher, so will not substitute for the slasher, but it will do, it's not going to give you the greatest finish on grass, but it'll cut down your thicker, taller grass. The idea of those ones is you can sharpen those. So you don't need to, once they go blunt, you don't just need to throw them out. You can sharpen them. Now there is a replacement for the BL Maxes, which we call the C3 Max hammers, or we call them a tooth. Basically it is a hammer, so it's a double carbide tipped hammer, and the idea is that'll fare a little bit better against your rocks. So you guys that are doing not just standing veg but also doing ground level stuff, you know, it'll fare a little bit better against that sort of thing. So they are, again, completely interchangeable. They'll work on either, so you can put the BL Maxes on, you can have a spare of the C3 sitting around. If you know you're going to push into a contract that's maybe going to be up against, you know, your rockier environments, you can put your C3s on and keep your BLs sitting on your workshop bench or in their cupboard or whatever they are doing. So everything is adjustable on this as well. So you've got a mechanical adjustable push guard, or that's what I'm thinking of, not push guard, push frame, should I say. And then also the skids on the underside, so you can lift those, or you can lower them to lift the unit itself off the ground that little bit more. So again, depending on, I suppose, level of experience, the guys who've got going in the machines, all that sort of thing, you can customize it to make it more user friendly to suit that application. Or the guys that have got umpteen experience, you know, they can hear that noise when the motor's starting to bite in or bog down. You can obviously set stuff as low as you need to, because you've got everything in your joysticks that you can obviously ferry the controls through. From that point, everything is really simple. So the main differences, as I said before, between the UML and the BL4 as the example, is you've got no hydraulic hood on the front here. That would be the first and foremost. That's going to be the one I'm going to mention here, because I'll do a UML walkthrough very shortly. But yeah, main difference is your hydraulic hood. So your electronic over hydraulic hood that you can normally control from in the cab on the UMLs, which obviously opens and closes and controls the chute of, I suppose, the mulch or debris coming out. This one doesn't have that. The BL4 isn't designed to do that. The BL4 is designed to push into, you know, I suppose a safe environment where you don't have to worry about where the direction of the mulch is going. Its whole idea, push in, clear, be done, get out of it. That's it. It is, the bigger girl weighs in at just under 1,400 kilos, while the smaller one weighs in at sort of your 1,500 mark. Now from a teeth perspective, which I didn't mention, you've got 26 teeth on the smaller unit, on your 150. On your larger one, you're coming in at 32 teeth. So there is 32 BL Maxes, or there's 32 hammers on this particular unit there. So guys, everything is easy, plug and play. You do require a case straight on these units. All the hoses are coiled up nice and safely. You've got both a male and a female, and then you've got your case straight line in here, as well as your electronic line. If you were running that UML and you needed the hydraulic hood, obviously electro hydraulic plug-in point, which will either run, you know, your 8 or your 14 pin plug, depending on what particular model, you know, you're putting that on. These guys here, or this girl in particular, in regards to size, is suited to your likes of your SVL 95s, SVL 97s, TL12 Takeuchis, your ASV 135s, 120s, 100s, your Case TV 450s, the New Holland equivalent, my apologies, I'm not up to terminology on the New Holland stuff, CAT 299 D3, you know, XEs or not. Yeah, I don't think I've missed any brands. If I have, I apologise. But yeah, this is sort of suited to your 90 to 100, 100 and above horsepower range, 120 litres per minute and above from that point. So that is a bit of a walk around on the BL4 SSL. Thank you very much for watching. Any other questions, hit me up, 0429 929 507. Take care, cheers.